If you have been sitting on the sidelines wondering if this crypto bull run was actually going to happen or not, you just got your confirmation. The bull run is on. Yesterday, Bitcoin absolutely ripped through its all-time high, currently soaring at about 118,000-ish, as you can see on the screen right there. And the digital asset industry across the board is soaring. So I know you're all really busy with life and such, so we'll keep this short and simple today. Let's quickly list some of the main pieces of evidence so that you can see what's really going on. So first piece, we just had a Senate committee hearing just on Wednesday, a couple days ago, on the, quote, perspectives of federal oversight for digital commodities. Think about what that really means for a quick second. Digital commodities. And on top of that, why was Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple Labs, aka XRP, sitting in the middle of the interview table at this hearing? I'm sure that is no coincidence. Then we have Paul Atkins, our new SEC chairman, very pro-crypto. Gary Gensler and the entire previous anti-crypto administration is gone. Pro-crypto has been in for months now. Stuff's being established. SEC chairman Paul Atkins, incredibly pro-crypto. We also have Scott Bessent, our new U.S. Treasury Secretary and one of Wall Street's best bond salesmen. I'm personally very happy that he's in here right now because of the bond situation. If you're not aware of what happened at our last bond auction, beginning of last month, it was right around that, no one in the world bought one single U.S. Treasury bond. No one. So very quietly, we just turned the money printer on to buy up our own bonds so that we could keep funding ourselves. Think about that for just a moment. Not very bullish for the US dollar. The US dollar needs help. So, on top of that, Scott Bessent, pro-crypto. Then we have two acts that have already been passed very recently on blockchain and digital asset legislation and regulation. First one is the Clarity Act of 2025. This bill aims to provide clarity on the legal status of digital assets. This has been passed. Then you have the Genius Act. More people have heard about the Genius Act, but I'm finding out that a lot of people still don't know what it is. So it was just passed June 17th. It establishes federal guardrails for U.S. dollar-pegged stablecoins and creates a regulated pathway for private companies to issue digital dollars with the blessing of the federal government. This has passed also. Then you add both of these on top of the big, beautiful bill passing. Regardless of how you feel about the bill, I got my own skepticisms of it too, but, we're not in the office making the decisions. We're just here analyzing. It's about tax and spending reforms, border changes. There's just a massive amount of stuff crammed into this big bill. And essentially, it all needs money. So there needs to be way more money printing and more liquidity coming into the markets. So the markets are going to get pumped. More or less, that's kind of what's happening. Then you have Trump created the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve months ago, not long after he got into office. We have 27 states so far, so over half the country have created Bitcoin Strategic Reserves for themselves, as well as other cryptos, like mainly Ethereum, Solana. Some are getting on XRP. It's being adopted very fast, at a very fast rate. We could keep going on. The U.S. is one of the top 5 largest holders of Bitcoin. Ooh, actually, let's bring up Rosie Rios. I find that almost no one knows who Rosie Rios is. She was our 43rd U.S. Treasurer of the United States from 2009 to 16. She is now on the board of Ripple Labs. I'm sure that's no coincidence. Then, this is kind of XRP Ripple Labs heavy, but the whole industry is just going to do all real case cryptos are going to do pretty well, in my opinion. But let's look at this piece of evidence to continue. Ripple Labs just a week ago applied for their U.S. banking charter license, which would allow them to become a legal operating trust bank within the United States. So they would be able to custody and hold their own assets as well as others, which is huge for XRP and especially their stablecoin RLUSD, Ripple Labs USD. Not to mention, I think this was also just a week ago, they partnered with BNY Mellon, which is the Bank of New York, Mellon Corp. Bank of New York Mellon Corp is going to be Ripple Labs' custodial bank. I mean, it's just huge. It just gets bigger by the day, all this stuff. We could talk about the partnerships. BNY Mellon, huge one. SBI Holdings is another one. Santander, Standard Charter. I mean, it's just, they're integrated into the entire banking system of Japan now, because if you don't know what happened with the yen carry trade last August, if you don't know what the yen carry trade is, it's not complicated. Go research it. It's a little lending hack that Wall Street was doing for decades. But it kind of imploded the market last year in August. So we had a pretty good dip. And then in September, just a few weeks later, the XRPL got integrated into the vast majority of Japan's largest banks to improve the entire system. And it says right here for you to read, Japan has fully integrated XRP into its national financial infrastructure with over 80% of Japanese banks connected to Ripple-based networks. By 2025, and we're already halfway done with 2025, every bank in Japan is expected to adopt XRP for all payment transactions, significantly improving cross-border payments and remittances. Then, so we actually know about all of those partnerships. We know about the SBI, the BNY Mellon, the Standard Charter. We know about all those. Look at how many partnerships we're not allowed to know about. Ripple Labs has signed over 1,700 non-disclosure agreements with financial institutions. How more bullish can you get? The list just goes on and on and on for crypto. Actually, if you even look at crypto-related stocks since the market dip that we just had in April, I mean, they're flying. They are absolutely flying. One perfect example would be BMNR, Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Starts with an I. Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Not telling you to go buy it. Not telling you to go buy it. Just telling you about it. They just brought on famous investor Tom Lee as their head chairman to maximize their efforts after their Ethereum strategic reserve. Just a week and a half ago, on this news alone, it went from a $4 stock to well over $100. The list just goes on and on. You can go look at other crypto-related stocks, and you will see similar momentum. Maybe not that big, but I mean, they're big. They are exponential gains. It's just ridiculous. So I'm going to be transparent. I like to be full of transparent with everyone. These are mine. These are my main holdings I'm going to tell you about here right now. Please do not take anything I'm saying as official financial advice. We are not financial advisors here. Simply showing you all of the evidence that's right in front of our faces. Do your own homework and research. My biggest bags are by far XRP, then XLM, XDC, HBAR, Ondo, Axeler, AXL, Chainlink, which is Link, Solana, which is Sol, SOL, and Avalanche, AVAX. There are many others, but those are a lot of the big players, and me personally, that is where I have put the vast majority of my investments in the crypto industry. But regardless of what I am doing, you're responsible for your own investing. And just in general, if you cannot see what is really happening at this point, I only have one thing to say. Take your blinders off. Don't leave yourself standing at the train station watching the train leave without you. Smash the like button and subscribe. Get on the train.